Well, hi, good morning, and thank you so much for joining me here in my shop. Today is July 6th, a very hot day. It's 30 degrees outside this morning when I got up. 30 degrees, that's really hot here. 34 would be blazingly hot, but rain is coming apparently. Big storm's coming, so that may cool off. Now, I have in front of me on my bench here a radio I really don't know anything about, as usual. Someone has asked me to check this out and make sure it's working. So it looks to be in fantastic condition. This is a Crosley broadcast band radio. I take it back, it's got a shortwave band on it too. It's a 2-bander. Great. It's got its knobs, the cabinet looks great. The grill cloth is intact. You know, these kinds of grill cloths that come around the corner, they often get wrecked up by people moving stuff. See, the cabinet is fracturing right in the corner here where it's just bent so hard on the wood. It's fractured a bit. Looks like there should be a back on this radio because I see the screws, but there's no back. But fortunately, the antenna is attached to the chassis. A lot of these radios, the antenna is attached to the back, and when the back is gone, the antenna's gone. The radio is partially gone because these antennas aren't just random loops of wire. They're carefully made to suit the radio itself and perform part of the, I don't want to say tuning, but part of what makes the radio sensitive to stations is having the correct antenna. Very good. This cord appears to be replaced. I'm going to guess somebody has already done the basic work on here. It's pretty dusty. Pretty dusty. What do you say we just plug it in and see what happens? Now, I wouldn't plug this into a regular outlet. I'm plugging it into a controlled outlet where I can keep the current within range. You know, I don't know what's inside this radio. Maybe something is shorted right out. It's not very likely. I've never had that happen, but nevertheless, I'm going to start it up in a protected way. And the way I like to do that is I use dim bulbs here. So you see there's 2 light bulbs here. I'm going to unscrew one of them. So at first, all the power that reaches the radio is going to go through this light bulb to get there. And that's going to drop the amount of power available for the radio. Most importantly, if there's a dead short in the radio or something terrible like that, all that happens is the light comes on fully bright. And I'm totally aware at that point that something is going wrong. What would we expect if everything's normal? So you first turn it on, heaters are cold in the tubes, current rushes in just for a fraction of a second, and the light will come up bright and then come down very quickly as the heaters heat up and the current flow reduces. The heaters heat up, and the next thing they heat up are the cathodes. Once the cathodes are hot and the rectifier tube is operating, there's high voltage, then the tubes themselves will start drawing current. And so what we'll see in the light is cold heaters, then cathode getting warm, and then we'll see the light come up again. That's what it should do. Might happen fast, might even be unnoticeable. Just depends how much current this thing draws. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is check to make sure the off switch will turn it off by applying power to it and seeing that nothing is happening. And nothing is happening. There's probably a light up here. Okay, well, we're going to turn it on now. Watch carefully the light bulb. Bright, going down, 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 way down. And it should start brightening up again. You might notice the numbers on here. This represents the actual voltage at the outlet here, 97 volts. So it may be that the amount of power this radio draws when it's operating is too low to light this light bulb. Here he comes. She's a Hummer. Hum-dingy don. That's all we need to hear. She's a Hummer. So what that tells me is probably nobody's done any work on this radio at all. That's probably the case. So let's take it out of the cabinet here. Get these knobs off. That is from my last radio. No, it's come off easy. Okay, now sometimes these radios are not screwed in when you get them, so if you turn them the wrong way, they may just drop right out, but the screws are here. And this one, so take out the lower screw, that way the radio can hang from the upper screw while I'm doing this. WC. What's that? WC. Something special about the screw? WC. Like it's right at the screw. I don't see it. Okay, last one out. So I'm going to put my finger through the grill cloth there. Three screws out, all the same type, all with washers. Very dusty looking radio. Okay, let's look in the cabinet first. What's happening in the cabinet? Nothing written in the cabinet. Nothing down the bottom. Just WC. That stands for water closet. Isn't that what that stands for? Water closet. Okay, let's take a look at this radio here. Again, very dusty. It's been sitting somewhere for a long period of time. No one's touched it. Looks like it has a bottom plate screwed on this way. Everything looks very good. Nice and shiny here. No corrosion, no sign of corrosion. It does have a light bulb. It's in really, really good shape, except it's terribly, terribly dusty. Okay, now notice there's no transformer in this radio, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tubes. And they're all going to be, it's going to be a 12, a 12, a 12, and then it's going to be a 50 and a 35 over here somehow, adding up to around 115, 120 volts. So all these tubes are in series. Now the fact that we heard the radio operate means all the tube heaters are good, or we wouldn't have heard anything at all. So we've already done a tube test of a sort. The humming problem is going to come from underneath. Well, I'll take that back. That's kind of a silly statement. Usually there's a big filter capacitor on the top here, but I don't see one. Okay, maybe it is underneath. Can I turn this right upside down? It's a very light radio. I think I can. Just like that. Yep. Okay, well, I got to turn the other way back. Turn the other way back because I have to take these screws out. I can tell this was made in Canada because it has the square. Really? Not a red? Wow, looks like a red. It's a green. In Canada we have these square head screws, and they are so good in so many ways. They are everywhere, even in old electronic stuff. This is why they're so good. I mean, you may live in a country where a square head screw, you've never seen one like this, but here's the deal. That's the deal right there. Can't slip. Not like those ugly American screws. Americans had a chance to adopt the same screw, but they rejected it on the basis that it wasn't American. Had to be American-made screw. So they came up with that star-styled screw that I hate so much. Yeah, I'm spoiled on these. These come in 4 sizes. Yellow, green, red, and black. Here's a black. Yeah. So apparently in some places furniture, Canadian furniture, it was being sold in the States. Who knows how? And it came with these kinds of screws, and so it had to ship it with a screwdriver and some spare screws or something like that, because these are so unheard of. At least deeper in the States, maybe in the northern states, these might be floating around. I don't know. Okay, so I've taken the screws out. Oh, what's this one? I don't think it's part of holding this. Okay, bottom plate off. Goodness. Oops, it's going to fall right off. Yeah, well, this is interesting. This one's underneath. Over here, they're on top. How are you supposed to get this off? There's a screw missing here. A screw missing here. Maybe they didn't bother with them. Stumped by the simplest part. You have to bend this a bit. I don't see how else to get it off. It's got to come past this piece here. There we go. Oh, maybe she's packed with old stuff. It's old from top to bottom. So am I. So this is possibly a replacement. Judging from the soldering here, this is probably a replacement. And from the soldering here, this doesn't look like factory stuff here. So this is going to get replaced. That'll end the hum. And that may bring the radiator completely back to life after that. It does have these wax capacitors. I've seen worse. So what we'll do is we'll change this out. What is this? Two 40s at 150, and I'll put in two 50s at 160. That's what I'll do. To make this easy on me, because there's an easy way and a hard way. The easy way is leave these red wires in place, since the capacitor size is the same. And we don't know what it was originally. We'll assume that it probably was like this. Crushed in there. So you know what that means? So this is from a clamp, but this is clamped in a radio. It's fairly heavy, so they have a pretty strong clamp. Usually they clamp along the side here. This has come from another radio. This has come out of another radio, and he stuck it in this one. Really? How else they get those knocks in there? I like to make stories up, while I'm working on these things. Try to imagine, the history of them, imagine how they get into this condition is part of it. There comes my air conditioner. Take a look at the radar shortly, because I have to keep an eye on it. Okay, 250 capacitors. There we are. .47 microfarads at 160 volts. You jumping up here, Wally? What are you doing? Here, wait. It's all messy in my shop. They want to come up on the bench. They don't know how to jump up here, so I'm putting them up. Yes, there's a cat here now. What have you been doing today, Wally? Not much comes the answer. What I'm doing is I'm turning this into one capacitor. I'm going to connect the negatives. This. 2 positives. Now, back to the radio here. Ignore the cat. Let me just reach over there. Okay, and what did I do with my solder here? Uh-oh. I lost track of the solder. We need the solder. It's about time for me to go up and turn on the coffee maker anyway. Yeah, so I'll take a break here, and when I come back I'll have the solder and the coffee. Okay, so I've soldered these two together. I'm just going to get rid of the excess here. I have a 3-lead capacitor now. One lead is going here to the negative. What I try to do here is attach these wires. Oh, this didn't go very good. Attach the lead wires as close to the capacitors as possible. If you're lucky, you don't need to add any shrink tubing or anything like that. Just going to kind of be floating in here. We'll worry about that later. I never could find my the solder I've been using. A little bit of it. I've put it down, who knows where. Now I have to use this wispy thin stuff, the only stuff I could find. You can hardly see it. Okay, so that's the negative connection. Time here. You don't want to take too long because you're heating up the components. That really didn't come very good. So we have 3 cats. Our black cat goes outside. It's a 10-year-old senior cat. It knows what it's doing outside. We decided to keep our 2 new cats, make them indoor cats. First time we've done that. Well, our indoor cats watch the outdoor cat outside. One of the things our outdoor cat does, he stays out late at night. She stays out late at night. She's a really good mouser. So often, just outside our door, we can see through the glass, there'll be a mouse, dead mouse, on our deck just outside the door, and our 2 small cats can see that. And what we think is going on is the older cat is bringing the dead mouse back to show the younger cats, you know, what should be done about these things. And I noticed today, uh-oh, this wire's not long enough. What are you doing in here? You're not supposed to play with that stuff. Here, come on. Okay, you're out. You're out. Out of the laundry. So we have some laundry hanging in the laundry room, and guess who was hanging from the laundry? This guy was hanging from the laundry. Okay, you're down. He doesn't like being held very much, that guy. Well, this is a dumb situation. I'll have to put a wire in from here over to here. Somehow I didn't, I wasn't conscious enough to realize that. Let's see if we can get this one. So this is just kind of going to be tacked on by the last guy anyway. I bet you it'll just pop right off. No, he's got a hook there. Not much of a hook. Almost as bad as me. Okay, so we'll put on a longer piece of wire there and hook up that capacitor. Okay, we've got the extra red wire in there. Let's cut off these excess leads here. Good. I'm going to twist this kind of like this. Stick them over here. What I'm thinking about is when I put this back, when I put the bottom back on, it's going to push anything down that's sticking up. So if a wire's sticking up, it'll push it down. If a wire's hooked up to this, it's going to move this. I don't want this to move. It's a little loose there. So I'll throw some tape over this when I'm done, and so it doesn't come up. Of course, the inside of the bottom plate has cardboard on it anyway, so that doesn't really matter. So actually, we're pretty good. Okay, was this enough to fix this radio up? I'll bet you it is. Ooh, bits and pieces falling out. Okay, I'm going to give this guy a go after I get my coffee. Oh, a disaster happened. I was out of my shop drinking some coffee. I heard a little crash in here. And just now I'm getting ready to turn on the camera and continue testing the radio. And I looked over and I saw this. Oh no. This is a very, very rare tube here. Well, it's more rare now. Son of a gun. What hit it? Something must have gotten knocked down from up here with a cat. And, you know, dumb of me to leave this tube. You know, what is stupid of me. A rare tube like this, and I just leave it out on my bench. Oh, son of a gun. It just ruined my day. It's just exactly the opposite of what I'm trying to do here. Is trying to preserve things, not lose them. Oh, man. That's terrible. Just terrible. Okay, put that out of mind. Nothing I can do about it now. What's gone is gone. Not coming back. Luckily, I have a radio full of those tubes. Oh. I hope it has all of its tubes. How did I get the one I have here? Oh, I hope I didn't take it out of there. Okay, worry about it. Never mind. Move on. Move on. You don't need more bad stuff to think about. Okay. We all have more than enough bad stuff to think about here. Okay, are we ready? So switch is off. This is the band switch here. So we'll turn it this way and assume that's broadcast band. And very good. Likely to pick up more stations down in this area. Now I am down in the lower floor of my house, not quite a basement. My house is not deeply sunk into the ground. It's a regular two-story house. And if you sunk it deep enough, you'd say the lower floor is a basement. But my house is only a couple of feet into the ground. So the lower floor appears to be above ground. And big windows and everything. It's great. There's a name for it. This kind of house. I forgot it. Okay, for some reason I raised up the camera because I'm not thinking, because I'm so upset over what happened to that tube. It's just really, really upsetting me. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on through the dim bulbs there. There we go. See the light came on. Dim bulbs behaving normally. Turn it up a little bit. Shouldn't hum this time. Anybody know what these screws are? Where these screws come from? Oh, the bottom plate. The bottom plate. Okay, so we've got only we got 96 volts here. That should be enough. Still warming up though. When you restrict the voltage to these radios, they take a long time to warm up. Okay, let's tune the radio. I didn't finish what I was saying. In fact, I'm going to raise the voltage here. 90 is just a little too low. How about 100 and... What's that little click there? 102. So I'm down kind of underground, but not quite. I suppose the ground level is actually just about where the radio is here, in fact. But nevertheless, reception down here is rather difficult. What I have an outdoor antenna. It's hooked up to this little coil here. And if I bring this up, it should boost the radio quite a bit. I'm going to put it back here. It might even help back there. Let's tune. So I think we're tuned to 680. It's just about exactly where the pointer is. 640 right in here. And then our strongest is station 590. Right about here. Antenna directionality. Deep null right here. Maximum reception there. Radio's working good. That's all it took. 2 parts. $860. I think that's $820 there. Okay, bring up the booster.
Inadéquate des comportement pour 1/50.
That's kind of interesting, just watching how this works.
Que le temps passé devant les écrans a de grands effets sur la santé mentale, sur la physique. Dans l'équipe et à son privé, c'est une relation qui, on pourrait dire, ou encore toxique.
Put it in the middle.
On n'est pas là pour la majorité des jeunes, mais quand même, ça ne veut pas dire qu'ils ne passent pas trop de temps à consulter leur téléphone ou à écouter des vidéos.
That should be 860.
Non plus qu'il n'y a pas d'impact. Un des facteurs à mesurer, c'est le temps passé devant les écrans. Bien
it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty close. It's very, very close. This is probably 930. It's going to be 1010, 1050, 1150 coming. Maybe not. Oh, that's probably 1150 right there. $1340. Not sure what that is. That's Montreal, I believe. It's in French. This is, I think this is 1430. Very good reception. 1580. This is probably 1580 here. These are always playing 70s rock music. That's interesting too. I've tuned in a noise signal, and if you're like me, you're always wondering where are these noises coming from, and you might say, well, it's being picked up by this antenna, so maybe it's close in here somewhere. But this is connected to an outdoor antenna. It's picking it up too. No idea what it is. Well, the reception of this radio is fantastic. Do I really need to do anything else to it? That's a good question. I mean, it's full of old capacitors. I'm not sure what that is. But can I improve this, you think? I don't think so. How's the volume? Volume's very good. Reception's good. Watch it there. Stick your fingers under this kind of radio. Has any more work been done to this? So these have been left in. This looks a little odd. This looks a little odd. And this looks... These three all look like they may have been replaced. There's another one down here also. Maybe not, though. I can't be sure. Sometimes a giveaway is the kind of cover that they've used. Or who knows what. So that's it, I think, for today. Anyway, I don't think I want to do any more. Here. Last thing we're going to do, I got to check the radar and just see where that rain is. Let's take a look at that. Okay, let's take a look at the situation now. So, you know, this is the East Coast and the ocean over here, in case you're not familiar with North America somehow. And these are the Great Lakes here. And not sure why this is framed out this way. It's been like this for a few days. So I don't know what the story is with this area here. I live right here, and you can see the storm is tracking up through here. By the way, let me just back out a little bit further. This is a very interesting part of Canada. Roughly, and just off the top of my head, a quarter of the population of Canada lives in this corridor here. We call this the 401 corridor because there's a highway that runs all the way from down here, the southernmost tip of Canada, pretty well, to way up to Quebec City, and then this goes out the St. Lawrence Seaway out into the ocean here. This band here, and millions of people live in this area. Millions and millions and millions of people live right in here. Like I say, maybe a quarter of the population of Canada or more. I'm not exactly sure. This is a big irritation to other parts of Canada. Other parts of Canada feel kind of left out because there's a big population here, and when you come out to other parts of Canada, the population is spread out much more thinly, and there just aren't as many people. And so often, and there's a long distance involved here, and life is quite different. Living out here is quite different from living here. So consequently, there's political difficulties in Canada because of these lack of uniformity, tremendous lack of uniformity. You might say, you know, like Canada is a country with large areas where nobody will ever live because nobody would ever want to live there. Like, there'll never be a big city, though. You know, the land is too rough. Like this whole area in through here. Yeah, there are people living in there, but it's pretty thin, really thin. And large areas here would be just completely void of people, almost completely void. There are some native towns, like some of these things are like Attawapiskat and stuff like that. These are native towns or Aboriginal towns, if you like, and they are quite remote, and some of them no roads even getting to them, almost no way there. So that's just, for some reason I'm telling you this, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm Canadian and I'm just wound out these days, like just about everybody in the world, because of what the guys who live down here are up to. What are they doing down here? I don't know. Does anybody understand what's going on? No. Okay, that's the end of the video here. I'm babbling now. Well, thanks a lot for watching today, and I apologize for the babble on the computer there. Tomorrow, I may decide to go a little further with this radio. and do those remaining few capacitors and tune it up to all that kind of stuff. But as it stands, it's working really well. And the problem with that in a shop like this is there's only one way, down. So it's a little scary to work on a radio that's operating really well. If the radio's got problems, no problem. And the last thing, we'll take one last look at this poor tube. This tube is from 1925. This is why I'm really upset about it. I've got it smashed open here, so it's going to become a model to examine. But do you see these on the top here? These pieces on the top? That's the heater connection. You ever see a tube like that where the heaters connect on the top? I bet you haven't. Because they were only made here in Canada. Only here in Canada, you say. Oh well, shame on me. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you on the next video.